What's up, everyone? This is Jake Symbol ASMR. Tonight I thought I would redo the very first video I ever uploaded to YouTube in a different form because I really liked that video, and video game collection videos are so special to me. They're like my favorite type of ASMR, but now I just have better equipment and I have the means to make higher quality videos, so I thought, why not? I'm doing my entire game collection. The first one was just PS4, so I'm not gonna get into it with a lot of them. But yeah, if you have thoughts on any of these games, please leave a comment and let's talk about it. I love talking. So I'm gonna start out with my PS4 games. These are only the physicals that I own. I also own games that I downloaded on the console. I really wish I owned more in physical form because I enjoy collecting. So this first game is called Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn. I haven't really played this very much at all. I hear it's great, I just haven't made time for it. Next is The Evil Within. The Evil Within. Enter the mind of a madman in a deranged world where hideous creatures wander among the dead. Facing unimaginable terror and fighting for survival, Sebastian embarks on a frightening journey to unravel what's behind this evil force. This game is so scary. I get some of that tapping on the booklet. I love a good game booklet. I wish they were still as common as they used to be. This is the cover of the booklet. Isn't that just grotesque? The Evil Within. I haven't done a lot of tapping videos on this microphone, this Tascam thing, so this is kind of an experiment for me too. Next is another game that I really love, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Fear comes home. Resident Evil returns as the most innovative, immersive, and visceral experience yet. I've been a fan of Resident Evil since I was 4 years old. I was too young to play that game, but my aunt got it on her PlayStation 1. It was the first two games she got were Crash Bandicoot 2 and Resident Evil 2. And so, don't come at me, because I'm a true fan, but Resident Evil 7 is my favorite Resident Evil game. I think it is the best in the series. It's extremely scary. It was a great follow-up to 6, kind of a clean slate. The plot and writing are amazing. It's just a top-notch thriller that they really haven't pulled off in Resident Evil until then, and I'm so excited for 8, which comes out in a few weeks. Another game that I love. A lot of my PS4 games are really special to me. Final Fantasy 15. This thing inside comes with this adorable little, look at these are the 4 main characters. We've got Prompto, Noctis, Gladio, and Ignis. It took me a second. That's such a beautiful picture. And inside of these notes, thank you for your support from the Final Fantasy 15 team. I love this game. I've been also a Final Fantasy fan since I was 8, so don't come at me. I love it, and I know it's kind of bad. Like, if you're not a Final Fantasy fan, you might not appreciate it, because otherwise you just find, I don't know, I'm not gonna, it's a really beautiful game about friendship, and if you play it, you have to do some exploration and side quests. Don't just rush to the end. I think it was very rushed, and especially if you just do the main story, you'll miss what there really is to get out of the game, which is this bond between the 4 main characters. The ending made me cry. The only other I think the ending of Final Fantasy X made me choke up, but Final Fantasy 15, it took me by surprise how emotional the ending of that game was. And next game. Also, I'm testing out this webcam I got. Not sure how I feel about it. I think it's getting the job done. It's in 1080p, but I don't know about the color. It's not very... The colors are kind of cold. I don't know. It's a little... Tales of Berseria. Tales of Berseria. This is a JRPG in the Tales series, which is a long-standing, established JRPG franchise. I am not deep into JRPGs, you know, I'm a Final Fantasy fan and whatnot, but I tried this one out and I really liked it. I had a great time with this last summer. It's a very comforting game. It's a great, comfy, it's visually beautiful. That sort of 3D anime style. And it's got a great plot and characters. The characters are a bit comfy thing too, if you can handle a little darkness. It's sort of like a dark comedy at parts. I'm not gonna talk much about this one, because we all know about it. It's Minecraft, and I will never climb to the top in the Minecraft that's just not the market that I'm gonna corner. Way too much competition, but yeah, Minecraft. Build, craft, explore. I was really into Minecraft in like 2012, and these days it doesn't really. And I'm not big into the building. I like the survival mode, but building stuff just isn't my thing. This next game, I'm really happy I own, and there's still a sticker on it. A sticker. And this is Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2. Baldur's Gate is point and click RPG based on the rules of Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. I'm not a D&D player, but when I was like 8 and 9, I would go to I had this babysitter, Jody, who would like take me to school because my mom had to go into work super early in the morning. So I'd get dropped off at Jody's house at like 6 a.m. And then me and her son, Charles, would play video games for like 2 hours. We would sometimes like watch something or just chill, but we got to play video games. And his big brother was a huge gamer, so like we had all these games, but Baldur's Gate was one of them. On the PC, it brings me back. It's old, it's from like the 90s. And it's also really hard. Who knew? Not much margin of error. But yeah, so fun. It wasn't that much. I got it used. I actually just saw it on the shelf and I was like, what? I had no idea that they'd like ported that to PS4. Next game is a really great one. What do you think it is? I'll give you a hint. Return to the world of Ivalice. This is Final Fantasy XII, the Zodiac Age. Final Fantasy XII was originally for the PS2. They ported it here with a job system from a version of it that was like an international release that had a different, it had like a job system added, which I ended up liking. I didn't like it first because in the original you could just do whatever, like you could just use whatever weapons and armor you wanted, but it added a little bit of like specialization and limitation. This is just a Final Fantasy XIV advertisement. Oh, here, got a Final Fantasy 15 ad. Season Pass. New stories, more content. I think that's the DLC where you get to take the boat out onto the ocean. It's so fun. It's so like, that game is like summer 20. It would have been perfect if I discovered that game during quarantine. I didn't even talk about Final Fantasy XII, but it's a great game. Its story is not very emotional to me. It kind of forewent a lot of the corniness. I think it's of like the other Final Fantasy games. This last game is first release from Kojima Studios since he left Konami. The object of the game is not to trip and fall. You have to hold the right and left. You have to hold R2 and L2 so that you don't trip over. I found it very, I don't know, I don't get it. Maybe if I put more, like if I gave it more time, I would like it, but I was just like, if I want to see beautiful landscapes, I can go play Final Fantasy 15 because the way I saw it, that's all it had going for it. Let's fight in the comments. Be civil. These are, sometimes people take gaming opinions so seriously, like, whatever. But yeah, maybe I'm a little bitter because, Hideo Kojima, right before leaving Konami, was working on the next Silent Hill project. And you know I'm a huge Silent Hill fan. And Guillermo del Toro was working on it. I was so excited to see what they did. I was a little skeptical because I don't think Silent Hill is a Guillermo del Toro thing, but you know, they released PT, which was a playable teaser, a demo for the game. It was taken off PSN. I don't know, you can probably find it somewhere. It's worth at least watching a playthrough. Okay. I like how I'm rambling about, like, games that I'm not showing you. Alright. I'm getting into my, GameCube collection now. And we have Resident Evil 0. And it still has its price sticker on it. I got it from, there's this game store near the mall in Flint, Michigan. It's like just southeast of the mall, within spitting distance, and I got it there. It's a really cool store. I would like to, next time I'm in Michigan, go back. But Resident Evil 0, I have never beaten, but it's fun. My friend Charles, the one who I'd play video games with in the morning, introduced me to this one. I was already a Resident Evil fan, but he was too, and we bonded over that. It's fun. You have two characters that you switch back and forth, and he and I would do co-op. I would be like Billy, and he would be Rebecca. Yeah. It's kind of difficult, honestly. And like, I've watched the ending, and I like don't feel like it was a suiting prequel to, like, it just doesn't make sense, but I like it. I think it was like sort of a weird retcon, like them, or not, I don't know, trying to jam stuff in. Okay, next. Super Smash Bros. Melee. This is like, I haven't really played Smash since this one. If you want to know how out of touch I am, my best friend and I played so much of this because we were like supposedly training for competitive Smash playing, but I think we just wanted an excuse. I was always Samus. Nowadays when I play the new Smash, I just like pick whoever because there's so many new characters. The All-Star Brawl is on. Classic game. I still have fun with it. Probably does not, satisfy. Once you've played the newer ones, it probably doesn't, like, give you as much, but I'm happy I own it, because it's an important game to me. Oh, next we have one of my favorite games ever, Resident Resident Evil remake. It's a remake of the first Resident Evil, which came out on the PlayStation in 1996. I believe this came out in 2002. Yeah, 2002. It's so scary, so beautifully crafted artistically. Everything they added and changed was perfect. How do you like the tapping? Do you like it real fast like this, or kind of slower? Do you like the fingernails? I unfortunately have not had much time to play this next one, which is another GameCube classic, Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker, bestseller. I started playing it. It's very graphically beautiful, very fun. Oh, beautiful. Time Splitters 2 is in here. I don't know where the actual Wind Waker disc is, but I'm probably not going to get to play it anyway. I think my ex gave me Time Splitters. Like his brother got rid of it, and my ex gave me that very thoughtful gift. Because I just got my GameCube at Salvation Army, by the way. It was so cheap. Good luck finding it that cheap today. Okay. Just tapping on the booklet. I guess there's cooperative play. You can have someone do something with Tingle. Tingle the Fairy. Perfect name for a fairy. I got a lot to get through, so I might speed things up. Star Fox Adventures. Never played. My ex also gave me this one. Should have played it. Should have given it a try. This one is in its case. I love these adorable little GameCube discs. This next one, Beyond Good and Evil. I have played like 30 minutes of this. I didn't get too deep into it. I like try to get into games, but like I don't have much time to play as it is, so this was years ago, but maybe I'll try it again. I remember like Anita Sarkeesian loved this game, and I thought, I wonder why, and I decided to try it. Because I was like into her in 2013. Next, Metroid Prime. I didn't play this either, but it was like a big Nintendo release, and I thought I found it. A lot of these are just things I found, I don't even remember where I got Metroid Prime. Alright, moving on to PlayStation 3. I have a ton of these, so I'm only going to talk about some. Skyrim. Enough said. Epic Fantasy Reborn. This one is a really beautiful game. Ni no Kuni. Wrath of the White Witch. It's made by Studio Ghibli. So if you like those cartoons, like there's healing game, like if you need a game to just make you feel better, play it on easy, of course. A game to rejuvenate you. Oh, it's got a beautiful little booklet too. Oh, come on, focus. Ni no Kuni. Okay. Oh, I guess I'm also doing my PS2, whatever. We'll just, okay. I've been playing my PS2 because I'm doing a Silent Hill 2 Let's Play, which is coming soon. This is an art game, Okami. It's like one of those, you know, video games as art titles. I haven't played it yet. It's really beautiful. I've seen a little bit of gameplay, and I remember, anyone remember X-Play? I remember the X-Play review, they were raving about it. Next is Rogue Galaxy. I showed this before in one of my videos, and someone, was like, you absolutely must. It's a JRPG. I really might, like, God, if only I could, like, clone myself and have my clone just do nothing but play video games, and then, like, it's like an external hard drive. You can, like, add it to my head, and so I have experienced those games. I need to get someone working on that. If any scientists follow me, give up what you're doing. Okay, next. Ratchet and Clank. I got this at, can you believe it, Game Crazy. They were like attached to Hollywood Video in my hometown. It was a used game store, like most of my games are used. There's a disc. The tapping happens over here. Jake symbol. No booklet in that one. Kingdom Hearts 2. This one I didn't like as much as the original. The original made me cry. Kingdom Hearts 2 was when, like, the mythos started getting super convoluted, but it's a very fun game. And, like, I liked the new worlds, the Lion King, Tron. There's a Pirates of the Caribbean. There's a Steamboat Willie world, which I thought was super cool. Like the original Mickey Mouse cartoon, black and white. So, yeah. Final Fantasy X 2. I like Pain. I really appreciate this game. It's like not as good as 10. It's like kind of corny, and I really wish that the sequel they'd made had been better. Like because like the first Final Fantasy X is such a somber, beautiful experience. And then this one is all fun, and it's got like a J-pop slash acid jazz soundtrack. The story is bizarre, but I like it. I do like it. It is what it is. It's Final Fantasy X is very special to my cousin and I. My cousin and I were very close. Like we were a year apart, and we were just very close growing up. And I was a Final Fantasy fan, and like I remember I had Final Fantasy X, and she came over to my house and I was playing it, and she fell in love with it, and now it's her favorite game. so we can like bond over Final Fantasy X. When I visit home, I'll visit her, and she'll have like a game of Final Fantasy X going. I visited her like last year, and she had the HD collection, and they put the Dark Aeons in there, and she asked me to help her beat Dark Val 4, which I'm like, no way, use the Ojimbo on that stuff. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. Okay, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I got this at that used game store in Flint that I was telling you about. It was $5. And I saw that you can get Vice City on PS4, so I'm thinking of it, you know. But I have to like not splurge on games unless I know I'm going to play them. I loved the like neon aesthetic of this game, like it's like Miami. Let's do some disc tapping. Vice City. I played Grand Theft Auto with my friend Charles. He introduced me to Grand Theft Auto 3, which I still love a lot. I haven't played 4 and 5, just 3, Vice City and San Andreas. Okay, this is an amazing game. This is Siren for the PlayStation 2. It's made by either Team Silent or some members of Team Silent, the team that made Silent Hill. And it is so scary. It's survival horror, but there's very little combat. Like, combat is only there like if you absolutely need to. It's about running and hiding and finding the right items, and it's this supernatural story that takes place in rural Japan. So scary. It's like a great sister to Silent Hill. Honestly, I think it's probably better than Silent Hill in a lot of ways. I obviously still love, and speaking of Silent Hill, this one is Silent Hill 4, The Room. I really like this game. A room full of nightmares. A room full of nightmares. This one's different than the first 3. I don't think it's as good as 2 and 3, but it's special, it's unique, and it's very scary. The disc is not in there, it's in my disc holder over there. Okay. Resident Evil 4. Had a lot of fun times playing this with my best friend. I was a Resident Evil fan. It was 6th grade. He was not. This came out and this got him into Resident Evil. In fact, he played and beat this one before me because he had a GameCube and I did not. This game is very fun. It's a little dated by now, and I'm not too eager to play it. I just beat it again like 3 years ago, but great game. Another Resident Evil game, Code Veronica X. It's a crazy game. I got this at that game store in Flint as well. It's the last of the tank controls, like classic Resident Evil. I guess it was what was originally planned to be Resident Evil 3, but then Resident Evil 3 Nemesis replaced it, which is a great game. I love Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. And because I love it so much, I was like disappointed in the 3rd game, in the Resident Evil 3 remake. I still really like Resident Evil 3 remake, but I think it was rushed. and they like just that I wanted to see. They cut out sections of the game and changed the entire last section. I don't know. Okay, next game, Silent Hill Downpour. This is the last Silent Hill game we got. It was like a total, it was like a reimagining. It's bad. It's a bad game, but you know, I beat it back then, and then I like gave it to GameStop. They must have given me like 10 cents for it, but I gave it to GameStop. There's nothing inside it because I think it's inside my PS3. But then like in this past fall, I like had this urge, this craving to play Silent Hill Downpour. I like it. It like, I try not to compare it. It's crap, but like if you're gonna play it, the fun of it is the side quests. Do the side quests. It is really fun exploring the town. Like, it's got a good creepy ghost vibe. The combat is a nightmare, but yeah. Oh, so this is Final Fantasy 13. Really like this game. I think this game is very comfy and cozy and pretty. I think the mythology in this game is very interesting. It's some of my favorite in the series, just because it's so surreal and slipstream and like off the wall and cosmic. Like the Fel Sea, there's like, the world is like a paradise, supposedly floating above a world, like it's called a cocoon, so it's like a cocoon in the sky. I'm thinking of doing another video game store roleplay too. I've done one before, but I don't know, I want to try it out. I really love roleplays, and I really enjoyed making my Silent Hill roleplay, which check it out if you haven't. I cosplayed Harry Mason from Silent Hill 1. It was about a $10 cosplay. This one is Call of Duty Black Ops. I hate Call of Duty, so I'm gonna put that down. I got it like when my PS2 was new, just 'cause like, try it out. Little Big Planet 2. You know what sucks? I've never played this game. I played Little Big Planet 1. I love it. My friends and I used to there was like a build mode where you could create your own levels, and we would just make ridiculous stuff. I remember my best friend Tyler created this giant a sperm out of wood, and we named it Tiffany. Little Big Planet 2. I really like doing that construction stuff back when, like the building games back when I was like a teenager, because like you could just be a goofball and make each other laugh. Nowadays, I don't have time for that. Like my friends and I, that's just not what we do when we hang out. A couple months ago, though, I brought my PlayStation to the living room because I wanted to show my roommate Bloodborne, because I thought he might like the aesthetic. He didn't really end up getting too into it, but my roommates and I were a little buzzed up, and we sat there and played Bloodborne for a couple hours, and my roommate Bobby, who doesn't really play action games, he plays strategy games on the computer, had watched someone play Bloodborne before, so he was really into it because he remembered it. Okay, this next one, Silent Hill HD Collection. Very controversial. I won't get too into it. I will say that I much prefer to play the original PlayStation versions. I'm not gonna blame anyone who worked on it for how it turned out, because I heard the source code was lost, but they also replaced the voice voice acting in the third game, and totally unnecessary. And they let you keep the old voice acting in Silent Hill 2, which, okay, you know, you had the option, and I kind of enjoyed replaying Silent Hill 2 with like different voice acting. I don't think it fits, but it was still interesting. Troy Baker was the voice actor. He does a lot of games. He did Noctis in Final Fantasy 15, and he just sounds way too like dark and masculine for James. The point of James is that he's like he's kind of a soft guy, but like you don't know whether to trust him, but he's not like super macho or sexy. He's very average looking. Jak and Daxter HD collection. Jak and Daxter 1 through 3. I loved Jak and Daxter on the PlayStation 2. I got this in college just to, you know, mess around on. It's very fun. I was like, so in college was when they started releasing all these, when I was in college, these HD collections, and I loved it because I had a PS3, and I was like, oh, this is so much easier. I can just play this PS2 game on my PS3, like, and I don't know, it was fun. This is Eco and Shadow of the Colossus HD collection. I have tried getting into Shadow of the Colossus several times, and not for me. I just get bored, but I appreciate how beautiful it is. I really wish, I remember back when everyone was always like, when there was like a big debate over whether video games were art, everyone would always point to Shadow of the Colossus as like, this game is art. And sure, I mean, it's a very beautiful game, and it defies a lot of the stereotypes of like video games that make people think they're like categorically lowbrow, but I don't know, my game I always point to is Silent Hill 2 because it is comparable to some of the best psychological horror cinema, and part of that big debate was, here's The Last of Us, enough said. Part of that debate was with Roger Ebert, who was a film critic, and I mean, if you wanted to convince him that a video game could be as good as a film, I would pick Silent Hill 2. If you want, like, I don't care about that debate, like, video games are video games, whatever, and artists make them, so you guys can argue about it. I'm gonna be playing my games. Not that anyone is still arguing about that. The Last of Us. I don't need to convince you to play it. Someone else has probably tried to tell you to, but I really enjoyed that game. You can't deny that it's great. Okay, this one, Batman Arkham Asylum, so much fun. I played this in the summer of 2012. I was home for my freshman year of college, so figure out my age. And it's so much fun. It was like seamless fun. Combat's so fun. Fun. If you didn't know it was fun, or that I thought it was fun, well now you know. Batman Arkham Asylum. BioShock. I played this game the summer after I graduated high school, and I loved it. And I remember I had this memory association, so when I eat a Cinnamon Crunch bagel from Panera, which is my favorite item at Panera, not that I don't go to Panera much, but it makes me think of BioShock, because that summer I would drive my Jeep Grand Cherokee that my mom gave me mom's old Jeep Grand Cherokee, and I would go to Panera, and I would get a cinnamon crunch bagel and a whole grain, a whole wheat bagel, which is also really excellent. I was a vegan back then, and I would munch on a cinnamon crunch bagel and play BioShock. So I always think of that, of this game when I eat that bagel. This one I have not shown you yet. This is The Last of Us. I own 2 copies of this game because I'm a space cadet, and I must have been like at GameStop one day or something and been like, ooh, I need that one. Not realizing I already owned it. Very special game, Fallout 3. I remember this came out when I was 15, and my friends and I, we inhaled vapors, and we would like play this in his living room. Which good memories, but yeah, I love this game. It's a Game of the Year edition. I never played the DLC. Oh, and it has a I don't think I'm gonna unravel it. Well, I guess I already am. It comes with this poster that has the little guy. I forgot what he's called. The little guy on it. I don't know. I don't think I would hang it in my room. Not my style. Seems a little, looks juvenile, not that I think it is, but I've got to impress the boys. Alright, Fallout 3. There's the disc. Next we have Resident Evil 5. A game, I had a lot of fun with this game. It was like the first co-op Resident Evil game, mainline Resident Evil game, because I think Outbreak was co-op. And God, I was so happy. It was similar to Resident Evil 4, and my best friend and I would play so much of this. It was so fun. I also did a PS3 collection, which I'm sort of redoing now, video, and I said this game is racist, and someone got mad at me. YouTube comments are so vicious and rude. Like, I don't know what it is about YouTube that, of all social media, that makes people so rude, but also gamers get really offended when you critique video games in any way at all. So, yeah, I think Resident Evil 5, is a racist game, and I can explain that if you want. Doesn't mean I didn't have fun playing it, but, it's about the gaze that it puts on Africa, the Western military gaze that it puts on Africa, and the stereotypes and such. And I've been playing video games since I was 4, so I have a right to my opinion about a video game. Silent Hill Homecoming. This game makes me sick. It's fine. It's okay. Le mal vous accueille à la maison. It's got English and French on the back. It's, there's a really cool article in Bloody Disgusting, which is a, online newspaper or horror, publication that's been on since I was, like, a kid. I've been reading that since I was a kid, but they wrote a cool article about how the Silent Hill series needs to get over Silent Hill 2. And I agree, because Silent Hill Homecoming and Downpour, their plots were basically trying to, I don't know, do the whole confessional with a plot twist thing, and it just was derivative, and Homecoming is kind of fun, I'll give it that. And it's some of its aesthetic from the movie Final Fantasy 13 2. I really would like to make time to play this game because I love the aesthetic of Final Fantasy 13. I played like an hour into it once. I love the Final Fantasy 13 saga. I've watched video of the third game, Lightning Returns. Change the future. And then we have Demon Souls, which I have never played. I have played the I've played the remaster of Dark Souls. I would love to play Demon Souls. If I ever get a PS5, I will definitely get that remake that they did of Demon Souls. And then maybe I'll have my clone sit down and play this and download his memories. Next is not in its original case. It was back when EB Games was still a thing. GameStop EB Games. This is Heavy Rain. You probably know about it. It's I've played a couple hours into this. I really enjoyed it. A detective mystery type thing, very sad. It begins with a kid dying. Messed up. But then you're playing as these bereaved parents. As a bereaved parent, some other things. I don't know, it's fun. Devil May Cry HD Collection. I love Devil May Cry so much, it's so fun. I used to whoop butt on the PlayStation version. Devil May Cry 3 is very hard, and I can't play Devil May Cry 3 anymore. Fun story, because when I was 20, I got the swine flu. I don't know why I keep, as if you can hear there. I got the swine flu and my body like physically hurt, and I was like playing video games while I had the swine flu, and I was playing Devil May Cry 3, and so I just associate that game with the sensation of having the swine flu. H1N1. And I remember my boss pressured me into going to work, so yeah. Now that COVID has happened and we've learned more about the spread of diseases, I would just like to say that was very stupid. I'm not blaming myself, but I should have no-showed, whatever. It was not a busy day, but still I definitely spread swine flu to some people. Final Fantasy X 10-2 HD Collection. So as 10 and 10-2, I've already talked to you about that, but I was really happy when this came out. I played through it. I was summer of 2014. It was a very sad summer for me. And this kind of like, I would just like try to relax and just, I'm gonna play Final Fantasy. And it was very comforting to me. Video games have comforted me a lot in my life. I've not played this, but this is Red Dead Redemption. Everyone likes to S it's D, which I'm sure it's great. I just haven't played it yet. I haven't played 2 either. I don't play a lot of games, period. Like, I don't understand how some people can just play every single AAA game. There's a poster here, but I'm not gonna unfold it, because last time I did it was a big pain, but it's like a map. I like this booklet a lot. is going smoothly. I'm really in my flow state now with this. I was like so self-conscious as I started this video about like, I gotta make sure I'm tapping and blah blah blah. But okay, Borderlands. My friend Emmett is playing Borderlands right now. I've only played a few minutes of it. I didn't like it honestly, but someday maybe I'll give it another chance. I would love to be like a game critic on a livable wage. Like, it's a long path towards that career. Like, if I would love to be like reviewing games for IGN, because I like making videos. I love flapping my gums about my opinions. If you know anything about, reviews or careers in game criticism, let me know. I am almost through these, I can't believe it. Make sure that the mic is still going. Holy cow, this is an hour long already. Okay, God of War HD collection. I played a lot of God of War when I was 11 and 12. It's a real kick butt game. God of War, it was like a Devil May Cry type, action, unrelenting action. It's a lot of fun. My critique is that I wish you got more weapons sooner. You gotta use those like dual things, which are a very cool weapon, but you gotta use them throughout a lot of the game with no other options. Got this little insert. I bet this paper will sound good. Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix. I was very excited when this came out. It's the first Kingdom Hearts game plus the Chain of Memories. And then it has 358 over 2 days, but it's just the cinematics. I didn't even want to bother getting into... This was a sad period of my life when I played this, like a sad year. And I would like skip class a lot and just play video games. I was very sad. I still pass my classes because I'm a genius, but yeah. I would sit in my room and inhale vapors and play this. Nostalgically. Okay, and then we have Kingdom Hearts 2.5 HD Remix. Just Kingdom Hearts 2 and Birth by Sleep and these cinematics from Recoded, which I don't even know what that is. I don't pay attention. It's probably best for my brain that I do not know the lore of Kingdom Hearts. I like the first game because it's adorable, and I might play the third game because it's adorable and it might be fun, and because I want to fight alongside my boy Woody. Toy Story was one of my favorite movies as a kid, and the fact that I would get to kick ass with Woody from Toy Story is enough to get me to spend $60. Okay, so now for the encore. 64 collection. I have Mario Kart 64 Timeless Classic. So much fun. I'm always Bowser. If you do his rocket, if you do that like rocket propulsion thing in the beginning, knock everyone out of your way. I'm a skilled Bowser racer. I have not really played Mario Kart since this one. Super Mario 64, a groundbreaking 3D game. It's me. Hello everyone. It's me, Mario. ASMR. This video, I'm getting a feeling this video is gonna look like trash. So close your eyes and stop complaining. Donkey Kong 64, a masterpiece. I loved this game so much. It brings me back. I performed the Donkey Kong rap at a local venue for money. I didn't. That was supposed to be some kind of joke, and then I just I'm fizzling out right now. Okay, and it's the most random 4 games. I had more, but my sister borrowed one of them perpetually, and she can keep it. She borrowed Banjo-Tooie and Yoshi's Story, and I don't know where my copy of Banjo-Kazooie is. Maybe she has that too. She can have those though, because she loves them. We used to play them together. Castlevania 64 is people hate it. Castlevania fans hate it. And I guess it is a bad game, but I played a lot of it when I was younger. When I was little. Okay, that is the end of my video game collection. I have a little bit more, but it would have been complicated. And maybe I will whisper out all the games I own on digital. So it'll be just pure whispers. I don't know. Maybe I'll throw in some tapping somehow. Anyway, any thoughts on these games? Anything? Wanna chat? Leave a comment. And again, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, because I do a lot of video game related content. If you're a very opinionated gamer, great, because we can argue in the comments. I'm always down for that, as long as you don't resort to personal attacks, because I put a lot of reasons to insult me in these videos, and I think it's kind of a cheap shot to take advantage of those. Okay, everyone. Good night, or good day, or good morning, or good nap, or whatever the case may be. I am Jake Simple.